because I hadn't been waiting. Because lately I hadn't seen any like articles about like any Cardinals players had it yet. So
well, that's good. All right, let's get attendance done real quick. Corbin, Zanaya, Taquandre, Callie, Sarah.
Here.
Thank you. Jalen.
Here.
Thank you. Michaela. Autumn. Logan is here. Ted.
here.
Thank you. Anaya.
Here.
Thank you. Hal. Edwin is here. Brayden.
Here.
Thank you. John. Jaden.
Here.
Thank you. Josiah.
Here.
Thank you. David. Not here. Shakira is here. Kelsey.
Here.
Thank you. Wilson. And Autumn. All right, so we just have a few more slides to go through for our poultry notes, I believe. We stopped on swine yesterday. So if you'll go ahead and get out your PowerPoint notes so you can follow along and fill out any blank notes. And then you can turn those in at the end when we are done. So that would be your notes from yesterday, your poultry and pork notes would be what we're on. Oh. All right, so we've gone over beef cattle, dairy cattle, and swine production. So today we are focusing on poultry production. All right, so we talked about some of the poultry companies that you might know: Tyson, Purdue, Mountaineer, Wayne Farms, Prestige. Those are all poultry companies. Most poultry in the United States is processed through vertical integration contracts, which we've talked about several times this week, being, those are the contracts where one company is going to own every part of the contract, every part of the process. Egg production farms, so they have egg production farms for poultry, and they also have meat production or broiler production farms. Hens are usually confined to a cage or a floor pen system. The eggs are cleaned, graded, and packaged at the farm, and then the laying hens produce the eggs for approximately 72 weeks. Then they're sold for meat because their production cycle is complete. Over one half of the laying hens are raised through a vertical contract. All right, we're gonna watch this video about eggs quickly.
And as long as there's no rooster in the vicinity, the eggs will remain unfertilized and edible. The color of the shell is determined by the breed of hen, but there's no difference when it comes to shell color. White or brown, all eggs are the same inside. The whole thing begins in the hen house, where female chickens start laying eggs when they're 19 weeks old. The building is well ventilated, with the temperatures and humidity strictly controlled. To stimulate laying, fluorescent lighting simulates 15 hours of daylight. The hens eat a measured amount of food 3 times a day. Their feed is made up of various grains, mixed with soya bean for protein. It's fortified with vitamins and minerals and contains calcium to strengthen the eggshells. The hens also drink water from nipple-ended tubes attached to their cages. All these carefully monitored conditions are designed to maximize the yield. The average hen lays about 300 eggs a year. The cage floor is sloped, so the eggs automatically roll onto a conveyor belt. Then it's onto a larger conveyor belt, which transports the eggs to the packing room. The hen's manure drops through the bottom of their cages onto a conveyor belt below. Even so, some eggs do get dirty, so they're thoroughly cleaned and disinfected later on. Automated equipment transfers the eggs onto plastic flats. It places them wide end up to keep the yolks properly centered. The flats go into a cold room until a refrigerated truck ships them to the grading station, whose job is to classify the eggs by quality. The best, grade A, end up on supermarket shelves. Lesser grades go to processing plants to be turned into ingredients used in foods, pharmaceuticals, and products such as shampoos. This automated station is high-tech and high-speed, processing 144,000 eggs per hour. First, a suction machine lifts the eggs off the flats and transfers them onto a moving track leading to the cleaning station. There, a washer gently scrubs the eggs with soap and disinfectant. The water is 45 degrees Celsius. Anything hotter would cook the eggs. Then it's into a dryer for 5 seconds to evaporate the moisture. The eggs then pass over a bright light, which highlights the condition of the shells. Workers do a visual inspection, removing any that are cracked. grading camera above assesses the condition and quality of the shell's exterior. Further down the line, other cameras will inspect the interior for blood. To check the strength of the eggshells, acoustic sensors tap on the eggs, detecting any brittle shells by the different sounds of the tap. The inspection machines mark and reject any egg that doesn't make the A grade. The approved eggs move on to electronic scales, which register their weight class from small to large. Pressure-controlled claws then transport them to the corresponding packaging line. On the way, every egg gets stamped with a lot number for quality control tracking. The packing machine stamps the egg cartons with the best before date. As in all mass-produced food, there are arguments about the quality of food produced and the quality of life for the animal in question. If in doubt, the best thing is to buy free-range or organic, which ultimately is better for you and the animal.
All right, so that kind of showed you through the egg production process. We talked a little bit about egg grading before, and that just shows you how it's done
Hens don't have to make
mechanically. All right, so other than egg production, they also have broiler production farms. So broiler farms are poultry that are fed to a high quality feed to maximize their growth. You cannot add hormones to poultry. A lot of people think that poultry have gotten to where they grow so fast and so big, and a lot of people will try to say that there's hormones that are used in the poultry to help them grow like that. But it's actually illegal in the United States to use hormones in poultry, and so that is not allowed. Producers will also be able to raise several flocks of bird each year, and therefore, unlike cows you can only really raise one group of beef cows each year, whereas birds you can raise several flocks each year. Broilers are processed into their cuts of meat and also value-added products such as sandwich meat, pre-cooked products, etc. Approximately 99% of broilers are raised through vertical integration contracts. So this is an example of a vertical integration contract with poultry. So you start as a chick at a stock farm, then you go to a pullet farm, a breeder farm, a hatchery or broiler farm, and then processing and distribution. But they're all owned by the same company. So an example of poultry being bigger than they used to be and why people think we use hormones. In 1925, it took 112 days for a bird to go from being born to going to market. At that time, they weighed 2.5 pounds and they were fed 1 pound of produce. Now, or in 2010, it only took 47 days for a bird to go to market. And when they went to market, they weighed 5.7 pounds. And we still only feed 1 pound of produce. But the reason that is that we have become smarter. We're able to genetically modify, genetically alter our birds so that we have the best combination of birds that grow the best and grow the quickest, but still have a good meat quality. So it is not due to any type of hormone. All right, here is a
Hi, I'm
broiler
Jordan Ryan.
video.
I'm a junior at the University of Arkansas. I'm a dual major in poultry science and ag business. Right now we are out at Savoy, which is the applied research broiler farm that the university owns. We have 4 houses on the farm, and we grow about 20,000 birds per house for Simmons Foods. We are a contract grower for them. The university employs students to work on the farm part-time in between classes. We also have a production class that comes out here once a week, and there's 4 groups, and they're each assigned a house, and they have to take care of the birds that are growing in the house. We're going to go into house 3, so if you'd like to follow me, we're going to go in. So this is the control room for house 3. In each house we have a control panel, which these are really unique because when they first came out, the university is one of only 3 farms in the whole U.S. who actually have these control panels. So it's not anymore, but it's kind of cool that we were the first one. Since we are a research farm, we get a first inside look at a lot of the new technology that comes out for broiler farms. But this panel is touchscreen. It's basically the brain of the house. It controls and regulates the temperature and the lights and the water flow. This panel right here is just the light switches, the feed clock. You can basically turn everything on and off right here. What's cool about the panel is that it's connected to an online server, so my manager on the farm can access this through the computer or his cell phone, even if he's 3 states away. Here's our vaccination bucket. We stick the vaccine down in there, and it's pumped into the pipe and into the house for the chickens. We can check water pressure to make sure that the water's actually flowing. We have to flush our lines today, so we do that once a week, and we'll do that later, but I guess we're gonna go look at the chickens now. So this is house 3. We have, like I said earlier, we have about 20,000 chickens in the house. The chicks are 2 weeks old, so they're in the process of, developing their feathers and gaining weight. The first week of their life, their feed conversion ratio is 1 to 1. So for every pound of feed they eat, that's how much weight they gain. So it's really critical during this time of their life that they get enough feed and enough water. You can see the feathers are fully formed on their wings, and the meat's starting to develop. So this is a 2-week-old chick. The farm's a really good tool for students because it really gives you a perspective on, is this what I want to do? Being in the house is exciting because in order to get where you want to be in your career, this is a good place to start, actually getting down and dirty and doing the work yourself. Most people find that they really fall in love with it.
Alright, so that kind of showed you an overview of the broiler chickens. You saw they were all in like one house, and they just kind of run around. If you've ever smelled a really bad smell when you're driving through certain places in North Carolina and somebody said, oh, that's chicken houses or turkey houses, poultry houses, that's what that is, and that's because they are in a confined space, and so that it can sometimes smell really bad. But some people will also tell you that that smell is the smell of money. So to each their own. All right, the type of poultry operations, there is the replacement pullet production. So that is when you raise a chicken to replace either the egg producers or the broiler production operations. So if you have some of your laying hens that you have to start getting rid of, or that, get sick and die or anything like that, you can use a pullet. A smaller chick can be, as long as it's a female, you can use that as a replacement. Same thing with the broilers, with your meat chickens. If you need more of them, you can use a pullet to replace those. All right, any questions on poultry? Your assignment today is it's 2 review games. Let me see if I published it yet. Oh, there it is. Yes. Yes. All right, so I'm going to show you exactly what to do with the review games. All right, so it's going to bring you to a page when you go to the assignment and you click review games. It's going to bring you to a page like this. And so you can pick any of these review games down here to do. You can do the snowball fight, the heroic ants, the paper bird, wild wild taxi racing, or free kick soccer. If you want specific directions on how to play them, you can click this link and it will take you to a page, and you'll click on the game and it will tell you a little bit more about how to play it. But you're going to play 2 of them, and once you get 100s on them, you're just going to screenshot that to submit for your assignment today. So once you get, so this one is the snowball fight. Once you get to the game, you're going to click track my progress so that it'll keep track of your score. And then you'll click play after you enter your name. And then you'll click start. All right, so the first thing it does is ask you a question, and so you have to get your questions right in order to throw the snowballs. So the first question is, the issue of animal rights and morals dates back to at least the what? And that's going to be the ancient Greeks. So you click it, and then your goal is it's pretty much a snowball fight, and so you get points by hitting the people that pop up with snowballs. You can also hit the snowballs as they're in the air. And as you continue to go through with your snowball fight, there will be other questions that you have to answer. And so at the end, it will give you your score. And once you have played it and gotten all the questions right, you'll screenshot it and then submit it. Again, you'll pick 2 of these games to do. So if you go back to the beginning page, you could do the snowball fight, and then you could pick another one. You'll pick 2 of them to play to submit. And you'll just screenshot it and submit it here. Any questions on that? All right, well, if you don't have any questions, my online people can sign off, and make sure you get that done, and I will see you Monday.